Space, the final frontier. Well, okay, not really. All right, take two. Here in the Mitten State, welcome to Code 47, bringing you all things Star Trek, spanning the quadrants, the best thing since the neutral zone.
We are back. Technical issues cannot stop. The choo. That is the Code 47 podcast on the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. This is episode 84. Coming to you. I love the fact that we're not only all in Michigan, but we're all in the greater Grand Rapids area, which is always what I wanted for the show, to have it be local. We're even going to do some photography next month. That's going to have the three of us in that be able to do some promo art. I'm getting really far off topic. But anyway, this is the Star Trek program.
What? There's photography? I don't know about photography.
You got to keep up on it.
You mean for Grand Rapids Comic Con? Okay,
somebody photographing us. Somebody photographing us. But that's okay. Yes. Exactly correct. So, this is our Star Trek podcast. Keep in mind, here in our network, there are 4 great shows. By subscribing to your Secret Friends Unite podcasting network feed, no matter where you take in your podcast, you can get our 4 wonderful shows. Our other programs are about Star Wars. That would be the Holocron Chronicles. Both of you have been on that one. Co-op mode talks about video games. And for the last 8 years, Secret Friends Unite with Todd Oxtra and myself has been your guide to the geek side. So please tune in, give us a follow, give us a 5-star review, and that would be awesome. So without further ado, I am Charlie Carden, your Trek Lord of West Michigan, captain of the USS Grand Petoskey, joined as always by my stalwart companions. That would be Mr. Peter Stein. Say hello.
Hey, everybody.
All right. And the technology blasted Kate, not Catherine, Quinn. Hello. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well after some technical difficulties. I think my laptop just decided not to recognize my microphone. So
it's a Sunday and it's abstaining. It's the day of abstaining. So we had some actual news this week. We'll talk super briefly. We don't have to go into big detail, but New York Comic Con was last week or the week before. You see, you get so thrown off when you do a show every other week. We did get 3 trailers for that. We got a nice, fully fleshed out trailer for Picard Season 3. We got a trailer for the back half or Season 1B of Star Trek Prodigy, which comes back. Actually, by the time we record our next episode, we'll be talking about the end of Lower Decks Season 3 in the first episode of Star Trek Prodigy, and Discovery Season 5, which was actually followed subsequently by the news that actor Callum Keith Rennie, who was Leoben the Cylon on Battlestar Galactica, which I know is a favorite of Peter's and mine in particular, will be a Starfleet captain. And there was a nice piece of promo art of him in that Starfleet uniform. All coming to us later this year and into 2023. So Katie is really good at playing along with Peter and I. So, Katie, what did you think of the trailers?
I'm always excited about Discovery Season 5, and I did see that they were talking about how this is going to be. I think they took some cues from the fans of just saying like this is becoming a slog. They're always going like one galaxy like ending mission after another.
Right. True.
So they were like, hey, let's make some stuff a little bit more lighthearted. Let's take some stuff from kind of vibes of Strange New Worlds, and let's mix it up a little bit.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch it just because. I mean, I noticed Peter. We're both wearing our Rito shirts today.
Oops. Sorry. Yeah. I just so you don't think I'm promoting, just random naked ladies. This is my Keep on Trekking shirt that I don't get to wear that often. It's an indoor shirt. It's an inside shirt.
So I'm going to watch Season 5 regardless, because next to Strange New Worlds, like, it is definitely my favorite. And there's, discussions of, all I can think of is Tendi now, because I just watched Lower Decks.
Which character? Gray Nadira? The red? Oh, Tilly.
Tilly, there we go.
Tilly Tendi, it's a T-sound, whatever you want.
So I'm excited about her coming back, because there's also been more discussions of her making more appearances, so excited.
I just hope they write her better.
Yes, I hope that she gets a little bit more now that she's become like a teacher and stuff, and really being able to like go out on her own. I think that'll be really
Right. Yeah. Dig deeper. Peter, and Katie, thoughts about the other two programs? I know Prodigy's not your favorite.
Prodigy, I am going to hate Prodigy no matter what.
Okay, great. Good. Glad to
Brought
hear
back
it.
the most hated captain, so you can hate it more.
Oh, no, man.
I'm joking about most hated, but like jokingly, he's the most hated captain.
Oh yeah, well,
Jellicoe, yay, Jellicoe.
Oh, I didn't know if we were talking about Okana, Jellicoe, or Doll.
No, not Okana, Jellicoe.
Yes, exactly.
And then Picard. Yeah.
I know we're all holding our breath on Picard.
Yeah.
I got thoughts on that.
Yeah,
Right.
I just don't even know. I don't trust them anymore. I just don't. They ruined Q for me,
Yes.
and I shouldn't say they ruined Q, but they did not give Q the off sending that he deserved.
The off sending. Oh, there we go.
There we go. That's what I think. He deserved, so I just don't trust it.
I think the off sending is a great name for this episode. So we're going to start the clock. The off sending. There we go. But maybe we'll come up with something better. We'll see what happens. Yeah, you're right. Nowhere to go but up. Peter, quick thoughts on the 3 trailers if you were to put it in one paragraph.
Well, Discovery Season 5 I watched, but as we all know, Discovery is not my favorite, so I kind of like watched it and was like, okay. I mean, based on what Katie's telling me, maybe it'll be better, but I've been burned so much, so I don't know.
So it's your Picard in addition to Picard.
Oh, no, it's not my
Also being your Picard.
Picard is my Picard.
It'd have to take a long step down to be.
Right.
Yeah, Picard's got its own issues. Like, there were so I'll just do it in the same order as Katie. So Prodigy, I'm looking forward to it. I've been enjoying Prodigy for the most part.
True. Agreed.
I am actually kind of excited to see what they do with Jellicoe, just because he's such an odd duck.
Right.
It'll just be interesting how they use him, because he's clearly going to be a foil against Janeway, because you can only use Jellicoe as a foil. That's like his only function.
He's not going to be the wacky best friend.
Fair.
No.
Fair.
So like I'm interested to see that and how they tie it all in and all of that. Picard season 3, the character reveals, like, it got an eyebrow raise out of me, but kind of not the they got them, because they throw enough money they can get almost anybody to come back, obviously.
Could they bring like Ricardo Montalban back from the dead?
Yeah,
and now we
never
have
know.
Khan. It's amazing. They
You never know, but more like, it's like these characters are here. What are you gonna do with them? Like, Lore's back. Okay, Lore's back. He was in a drawer for who knows how long. Why is he back? You conveniently forgot he existed in the first season of Picard. What are you doing?
Absolutely blasted me with, because Simpsons references are a big thing for me. I just remember that Jimbo and Kearney are the Nelson's best friends on The Simpsons, and they're for some reason both in their 20s. And Kearney has a son in it, and he says, "Oh, things really were hard for my son after the divorce, but he's fine now." And the kid says, "I sleep in a drawer."
All I mean, is like Lore in a drawer, like Elf on a Shelf.
I've made a new shirt for us.
Oh my God. All right. And the episode name is changed. Please continue.
I think we can't get any better than that.
So, that completely derailed my brain. But the other reveal, like, the villain could be interesting. I don't know much about her. I'm still kind of getting some Mass Effect 3 vibes, which I'm not super excited about. Love the game, love the story, but I'm not, like, the way that they ripped off of it in season 1 and season 2 just didn't really work for me.
It was like the great value version of Mass Effect.
Great value. The
Mass
Kirkland,
Effect
the Kirkland brand.
No, because at least with Kirkland, you have to buy a membership to get it.
Oh, right.
Okay,
so
there you go.
so you have to step up to step down. I get it.
Right,
There you go.
This is even worse.
Oh my God.
The Moriarty reveal was cool because it's Moriarty, and
But you're afraid. But I bet you're afraid it'll be nothing.
But it's like it kind of. I'm worried that both of these reveals are kind of be like what we got with Q, where it's like he showed up for like a hot second, did like 5 or 6 things, and then he wasn't in it for like the entire season. Like, Q's going to be the main thing. Q's
And
not in the season
I know,
barely.
it's bad. And then here at the end, here's Wesley Crusher. It was just, oh god.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what?
I don't mind having characters show up and do things, but like if you're going to tease that they're going to be there and
Right.
like make it like, especially for Moriarty, you're like, how did he get out of the hollow cube? What is he doing?
Yeah.
Is he coming for revenge because Picard lied to him? That would make sense.
Right.
But you got to play that and play it right, and I just don't know if they're going to do that.
I know.
Moriarty
Okay.
has lots of potential, but
Right. We better ripcord this because otherwise we're gonna spiral. But so we're getting Picard this upcoming February. That would be Feb of 2023 if you're listening in the distant future. And then we don't therefore know about Discovery if we're going to get that beforehand, because I'm trying to remember this time last year. It was after, wasn't it? Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was like
I think you said
March.
something about like 2024, I think, for Discovery.
Oh, that seems insane to me. I don't know. We'll have to put our research bots upon it. But at any rate, let's move on to talking about Lower Decks. We have 2 new episodes.
Yes.
I did provide a little bit of context here, but no, please don't read this big long thing. But Katie, why don't you kick us off with episode 7?
All right, we had a mathematically perfect redemption, and it was a wayward Starfleet ensign struggles to find a path to redemption. This episode, I feel like, was the spiritual sequel to the Mugato episode.
Oh my God! April said the same things, and actually said that she found a Birdman having sex with a robot with a little space box offensive. Excuse me.
It was hilarious. Like it was so out of left field. And
I know.
Yep.
And
So
Peanut Hamper is so snarky.
yeah.
But to give a little bit of context, this episode picks up where the episode No Small Parts left off, with the uber narcissistic exocomp Peanut Hamper decided to beam out and basically flip her middle flange up and say screw you to humanity. She gets stranded in space. Eventually she ends up after the Drukmani scavengers, who did we see them in the previous episode they're referring to?
They were the ones that were throwing.
They were
stuff.
throwing garbage at the
Yeah, it
at the
was
Cerritos. Like they found a
where-
debris field
Oh,
and like
okay.
the
it
living Elcar's terminal that Ensign Dingbat made because he wanted to be cool.
Oh, that's
I
Yeah.
can't remember his name.
You don't talk about my dad.
Oh my God. Oh no. So anyway, so Peanut Hamper does escape, lands on a planet populated by bird people called the Error. What are they called?
Aurora.
Aurora. There we go. So it's just a 22-minute snark fest. She's so snarky. I say she simply because Peanut Hamper is feminine sounding voice, but she's a robot. There's no gender.
She calls herself a she.
Does she? Okay.
I believe so.
But it was, it's just led to the, and I was fooled the whole live long day. I didn't think, no, Peanut Hamper's just trying to, because in the end of it, she's pulling a fast one. She kind of sets it up so that, Starfleet will take her back so she can get off of this backwater planet, even though she seduces the chief's son. And and at the end of it, when we got to the end of this episode, I gasped and took a deep breath because I thought of you two guys and how much you love the fact that she gets imprisoned with all the other evil robot brains next to Agama. So there's we get a total revisit of that character.
And Agamus proposes an alliance. So the question is, are we going to get some sort of breakout and some shenanigans some way this season, which would be hilarious.
Absolutely. If I don't get an Agamus Peanut Hamper team up somewhere in season 4, I'm gonna be freaking pissed.
Oh, I got you.
You might. I mean,
But
Agnes has appeared in both seasons, so the only person we haven't seen yet who might still come back based on the piece of debris we saw floating is Badgie.
Oh my God! Oh, you know what else
Yes,
I loved early in this episode, that Peanut Hamper built herself essentially Wilson from Castaway.
Yes. Which she immediately discards. Was it Susan?
Yeah, something like that.
Or something?
She chucked her into the laser beam to save herself. She's like, "Sorry, Susan." Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my God! I was just, like I said, this for me absolutely reinforces that season 3 they're hitting their numbers.
This episode originally, like the first started out, and I'm like, huh, and then as it went on, I was like, okay, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just like I said, for me, it reinforces that season 3, much like season 3 of TNG, it has just really hit its stride. There was, with TNG, there was really tiny bits of good stuff in seasons 1 and 2, but season 3, you're like, bam, you've got your voice, you've got your pacing, things are going along. But they're crushing it. They're just crushing it. I had so much fun with this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. All right. Any other thoughts before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
I did like just as a quick side note, I did like how they sidestepped the Prime Directive where where the Aurora had already been warp capable, and they were just like, nah.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. And even Peanut Pepper makes a joke about her. She's like, "Oh, so I haven't been breaking the Prime Directive this entire time."
Yeah, right.
It was really funny.
Oh my god! The bird, and when the chieftain starts crying when he finds out this, he cries during sex too. Yes, the bird sex. I don't really want to think about the fact that how that goes down. That's where April was like, "Oh my god, I find it's offensive because how are they supposed to?" That's like the Mugatos, basically jerking off.
I just treated it like Tony Shalhoub's character and Lilani from Galaxy Quest. It's like it went off screen. Who knows? Whatever.
Yeah, and that was part of the
That's part of the gag.
comedy.
So.
Yeah,
right.
Of it, is that she is a tiny robot. Like at one point, she even makes a beak for herself that just sticks out of her replicator.
Yeah, in the marriage sequence, she has a beak on a replicator, which is just so odd.
It's so random. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Part of the fun is the absurdity of the entire thing. Like that episode was just absolutely absurd, and that's what makes it great.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Peter, moving on. Take us to episode 8, please. The thing that we were all waiting for, because we got the tease of this on Star Trek Day, so back in September. So take us away.
All right. Season 3, Episode 8, Crisis Point 2, Paradoxus.
Yes!
Boimler's holodeck movie sequel tries to live up to the original. Yes. They make so many jokes about, you're freaking up my franchise and you're making a crap sequel.
Oh, I especially liked the comment that Tendy made about younger versions of their alternate selves.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. But anyway.
Scientifically speaking, that's kind of a stretch.
There you go. And
there's a massive dig against the Kelvinverse, which was hilarious.
Don't forget that we will have an episode coming up, and I think it's between now and the end of the year, where we're just going to do a teardown of all 3 of those movies put together, because I don't think there's any fans here. But I
called it Into Dumbness on the other stream. So.
Oh, that's just being kind. But this was, I love it. So obviously Boimler cast himself, what's his name? Persephone's Dagger or something?
Yeah.
So, and we have a cool variation of the Nemesis First Contact jackets where they just replace the piping with white, which
they pulled a Star Trek Online white beam.
Yeah, and if Cosmere does that, you know what? I'll fall for it. I'll buy another jacket. I don't care. Why the hell? Because I don't have to
buy another jacket.
No, buy another jacket. Hey, twist my arm. Oh. No, yeah, they got me. They got me there. So. But they're going along doing the program, and so on the bridge of the what the hell is the name of it's a Sovereign class ship, but what is this ship? The Wayfinder.
Wayfarer.
Wayfarer, I think you got it.
It's
so they're flying along, and obviously our crew are the top officers on the ship, and they rescue the Cerritos, but they have a MacGuffin they have to rescue from these Romulans that stole the
chronogami.
Chronogami.
It fooled space-time. Like they also have like this stupid technobabble explanation where you're just like, yes, that's etymology.
Okay,
brilliant.
But in all fairness, that made just as much sense as any of the other word game stuff.
No, it made sense. I liked it, but it was just funny because they were just pulling out goofy etymology.
Oh my gosh! And it was right. As things are getting rolling, Boimler has to bop out. When he comes back, he's super bummed out. He's really not into it. He's being all sullen. He's looking for the meaning of life, whatever it is. And you find out because he had gone and gotten his evaluation from Ransom that Mariner has to do the same thing. And then in conversation, we find out that Boimler's transporter clone William has died in an accident over on the Titan, and so you can tell obviously why that's kind of taken the wind out of Bradward Boimler's sails. But through this, including him, going on a frustrated rampage, he wakes up on a farm with guest voice actor George Takei as Hikaru Sulu.
Yes.
Horsey will bite you now. Yes.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That was great. So he does finally manage to turn it around and find some happiness in it. While that's the B story where Mariner and Boimler are together, but Tendi is together with the rest of them, and she aspires to be a captain. She reveals it, and Rutherford totally gives her support. And then I love how they never get weird with like, and now you don't get any romantic vibes out of any of the 4 characters. God, I do love that. That would be so incredibly predictable in all the stuff that they get into that they don't do. So I really do. That was my one, bit that I had to contribute, kind of thinking about that. So anyway, was this the sequel that you guys were hoping for?
Yes and no.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me.
That.
Well, it was a lot more serious than I thought it was going to be. Like, it had a lot more heart to it, which, them pointing out that, ironically, Mariner setting out to have the first crisis point be just like a free fest of her destroying and murdering the entire crew as her versus ends up being her working through her, like, issues, as of abandonment and all of that stuff. So I should have seen it coming, but the fact that they had Boimler actively working through all of these issues because his existence feels shallow and meaningless now that, he's tried to constantly accomplishing all of these great things, and the guy he thought was like a better version of himself just randomly died, and he's like, well, crap, what am I going to do then if he's dead? Where do I go from here? So it's like, okay. Also, him just finding, what was it, the random...
the Kitty Hawk plane?
Yeah, the Hawk plane.
Right. The random inspirational quote generator godhead.
That was
So-
funny. It was like this.
I can't believe we didn't get a live, laugh, love out of that, and I would have had to punch a TV screen.
Oh, I know. Maybe
I
that's
just
why
loved
they
how it
did
was just
that.
making fun of Star Trek V that entire
Oh
time.
my God!
Oh,
Yes, you
yeah,
got
it was fantastic. Yeah.
Because it was Shatner's rock monster.
right. Oh God, yes. What does God need with the starship? Oh my goodness. Oh, so no, this was great. God, we got 2 episodes left. Any final thoughts about this before we wrap up segment 2 here?
Just as a side note, I thoroughly enjoyed the Section 31 clip at the end
Oh,
where
yes.
Boimler totally shit on the fact that they gave them their own badges. That was my favorite line, just because I remember in Discovery episode 3 where they first showed him, I was like, what the frick?
Yeah.
That's like, it takes me right back to Marvel's Captain Marvel movie where, she's in the past and she's riding along with Samuel L.
Fury.
Jackson's Nick Fury, and she pulls out the hat and says, so putting your logo on your super secret organization, like putting them on hats and stuff, how's that working out for you?
Yeah.
Nobody likes
It's
to
the
have
same
that.
idea. So
So
it was just,
that pointed out.
I just really liked that.
Oh,
I mean,
That's
I do absolutely love the black badges. I think they're
Oh, they look cool, but in universe, I think they're stupid.
Oh yeah, no,
Big time.
especially for a super secret organization. Like,
Right. Well, now we all have to order from Fansets, so I'd love it if they'd be a sponsor of our show because I direct so many people to buy their badges, where you might have to get those for our first contact jackets. But we shall see. All right. Well, cool. We've got 2 episodes left of Lower Decks. One bold prediction from each of you, Katie.
oh goodness. I know. I think that I'm going to stick with my last predictions. I think that we're going to have it where maybe Mariner's going to take off and maybe do her own adventuring.
Yeah,
And I think we're going to see some more out of Tendi. I think that she's becoming more of an active participant, and maybe her and Rutherford are going to go off on an adventure to try to figure out who exactly in Starfleet has been messing with him.
And Rutherford's
Yeah, right.
casting.
Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. Yeah. How about you, Peter?
I mean, I have to agree with Katie. I think that those things are probably going to happen.
Right.
I did say last time that I thought they were going to pull out another big cameo, and they pulled out Sulu. So I was
know.
kind of right.
Yeah.
I still think they might pull somebody else. I still think we might get like a pseudo Picard teaser where we get a character from the Next Generation other than Riker.
Gotcha.
So maybe, honestly, it could be from Rutherford's past, and it's Barclay.
Oh my God. Yes. Well, yeah. Why not? Well, I don't know. Haven't I heard that Dwight Schultz kind of cracked up, or he's a MAGA head or something? I've heard something not great about him, but now I'm not sure what it is. Hope not.
I have no idea.
I hope not. Oh boy, we're looking to. All right, well, cool. Let's wrap up segment 1, and this is going to be a switch because Katie's going to come back and Peter's going to go. But Peter, before you do go, where do people find you out there on the socials?
You can find me out on the interwebs at Petrus Aquinas or Petrus_Aquinas on other platforms. So you can at me. I may or may not say anything. Probably not.
There could be some adding. All right, very good. Well, we will take a quick pause for station identification, and we'll be back to talk about a little show called Voy. That's right. We'll be right back. And we're back. Oh my goodness. Katie running solo with me. We're talking about Voyager.
Yes.
And it's funny because we were going along in the greater scheme of things, doing like all of the season 3 or all the season 2s, all the season 3, and then you're like, I got all this stuff coming up. I have to take 6 months to do this thing and this and that. So we dumped season 2 of Voyager backwards all the way to now because we were all the way through the original series. So this is our last season 2 that we have to do because we've done everybody else. So so from memory, I'm riffing. Season 2 of Voyager came out in the fall of 1995. This was the first full season of the show because it had started in January of 95. They had actually filmed 20 episodes for season 1. But for some reason, and if the only way to really pick it apart is to pay attention to the star dates, they held 4 episodes back and sprinkled them through the beginning of season 2. So, Katie, as you look at this, because it has the star date, it's the column just to the right of the name of the episode. You'll notice that they go from 4/8 blah 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 to 4/9 blah blah blah, and then back to 4/8. That happened.
Oh.
Yeah, so it actually means that in Nerd Talk, the 2371 was the year that Voyager started. 2372 would technically be season 2 because star dates run from 000 to 999, and that length of time indicates the passage of what we would consider 12 months, January to December. So there you go.
I would not have known that, but
and now you do.
This is where the geekiness comes in because you're just like, I'm just riffing this. It was started in 1995, and I'm like, he's riffing.
I'm riffing. It's all in the hard drive. You absolutely better believe it. But today we're going to talk about the first 6. Did I do 6 or 7? 6.
7.
Yeah.
No, you
did
have
I?
7. You have 7. Yeah.
Well, okay. I know I watched them all. But yeah, we're going to talk about the first 7. And I'll kick it off since I went on this whole rigmarole about star dates and blah, blah, blah. Episode 1 of the season is actually episode 17 produced and actually set in that first year of the series. It was called the 37s, as in, 37. Don't think about Clerks when you think about that. That's no, well, you wouldn't get the reference. Sorry. That's right. You wouldn't watch Clerks with us very smartly. You refused to watch Clerks with Oxtra and myself, and I'm glad you didn't. It's Stardate 48975.1. That puts it at the very end of what would have been season 1. James L. Conway was the director, written by Jerry Taylor and Brandon Braga. Written by the people who created the series. That's probably a good thing. Aired at the end of August in 1995. This was the beginning of my sophomore year at Michigan State. So I was very formative years. I was a young man, 19 years old. Women wouldn't touch me with the 10-foot pole. Good times. But this was actually right around the time that Todd and I met and became friends. It was actually at this exact same time because we were in the dorms together. So this is when I found out how much he hated Star Trek Voyager because he thought it was cheesy, but I'm a diehard and I love it. But anyway, episode summary: a group of humans from the 1930s are found in stasis on a seemingly abandoned planet, including the lost Amelia Earhart, played by Sharon something, who was on NYPD Blue at the time. Sharon, damn it, help me, save me, Katie, save me.
You're expecting me to know? You're the one who's winging it.
My winging it only got me so far. Sharon Lawrence, there we go. The very talented Sharon Lawrence. So yeah, Katie. Now, was this have you watched it through before now, or is this first time for you?
This is the first time this is the second time watching through season 2. I haven't actually finished all of Voyager.
And you'll get to through being on the show.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I'll probably continue to watch it, just continue to watch the seasons.
Oh, sure.
After we watch, because I do enjoy watching it. Janeway's absolutely incredible.
Totally.
She's, I just love her. So I immediately remembered that I find Tom Paris annoying. Because it starts out and they find this old 37 Ford. And I'm like, you are how many centuries past when this vehicle was created, and you're going to tell me that you understand it's all of its intricacies to the point where you can jumpstart it.
Right. And that this thing floating in space has fuel in it. And
that the fuel lines haven't frozen and broken. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
So that was like that felt like such a Star Trek.
And it was just like if it was on lower decks, it would make sense. But on this, where they're trying to play it serious, it seems completely. And you're someone who has a lot of obviously knowledge and experience with vehicles. So I would understand how that would definitely rub you the wrong way. It's totally ridiculous.
And like my dad and I we went to a car show up in my hometown last month or earlier this month, and he is a man who knows his cars, and he's like you with Star Trek, just encyclopedic knowledge. It's absolutely amazing. He can look at an old car and know exactly which one it is, like what year by body type, what the engine was. And I'm like, to have that kind of encyclopedic knowledge going for centuries. This is a man who has like a couple decades worth of knowledge, and you're going to tell me that he knows everything from the past few centuries about
because it just, and it gets worse as the show goes on, because he's like, well, I'm also a mission on all the early Mars exploration. It's just like, you know what, you're a little know-it-all shithead.
And that's the thing. If it was if that was his thing, I'd be like, okay, that's fine, that's understandable. But it seems like everything's his thing. But anyway, I did overall, besides that annoyance, I did very much enjoy the episode as far as like having Amelia Earhart. It was very much like a sweet fan moment.
Yeah, totally.
Meeting Earhart and explaining like the importance of who she was, and like having that bonding moment, even though Fred was her navigator.
Yeah, he was Tackleberry from the Police Academy movies, which was big in the 80s if you've never seen any of them. Yeah, you're right. He was a total douche, and they had kind of a pache of other stereotypes. You had, a Japanese soldier, you had an African-American farmer, you had some other various people that, you didn't need to know. That was all kind of like, oh, that was convenient. But what do you think about the overall decision that they made? Because they were struggling with, do we want to stay here? They've created a new Earth here. Everything is awesome.
It was a really great, continual moments of conflict that come up as far as like ethical dilemmas that Star Trek has a lot, but in like a different way, which was really great. And, and it reoccurs between like conversations between Janeway and Chakotay a lot throughout, even these episodes that we're talking about. But it also had a lot of these same like xenophobic vibes that were prominent in World War II, as far as you find out that these people that they're fighting, who, were like the overlords.
Right. The Briori. See, I plucked that out of my head.
Yeah. So there was a lot of fear of these folks and being like, oh, well, you're human. Oh, I'm human, actually. Like, whoops, we've been fighting each other.
Womp womp. No. Exactly.
So I thought it was really great where even, Janeway and Chakotay acknowledged they cannot run the ship without their full crew.
Right.
But they also cannot, stop their crew from having free will, because that's not what Starfleet is about. So watching them in this, really tragic situation that Starfleet had no rules about when they created those, regulations.
Right.
Still trying to follow those standards. I thought was really, really interesting. It's one of the reasons, Janeway has such, loving mom vibes, but in that,
totally
stern type of way, which is why I think she's my favorite, because, she'll reprimand you, but then she'll also be like, but it's okay, I'm sorry.
But she also, and she gives hugs. I noticed a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that she would yell at you, but she'd also be like, but I want you to know that I still love you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm disappointed, but I still love you.
Right.
Well, I found it to be phenomenally implausible that out of a crew of 150 people, nobody chose to stay. Not even a couple of people would be like, you know what? Living on a ship and being attacked by hostile aliens every other week, that kind of sucks. I think I'd like to give it up and just be a farmer with it. That, I mean, you understand. I would definitely say I understand, thematically and story wise why they would do it, because it would be like, no, we're one crew, we're a Starfleet crew, even though some of us are not Starfleet.
Right.
But we're all super committed to going back out and probably dying in the vacuum of space for this 75-year trip home.
Earth again. Yes.
Exactly.
It definitely felt like there should have been some people, but also that moment of, no, we are Starfleet, we are one. That was Yeah,
Right,
so I
which-
understand it realistically. No, thematically, I get it.
Right, because as we found as Starfleet goes on, though, Starfleet people are super buttoned up, and we all believe we want to be out in space and brr, brr, brr. But again, not all the people were Starfleet people. But anyway, I thought this would have been the season finale of season 1. Much better than the season finale of season 1 was the episode where Tuvok has to do basic training for 4 Maquis recruits who are total dipshits. Do you remember that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
that was the season finale of season 1, and it sucked. This would have been a great season 1 finale, but it was also a great season 2 opener.
Yeah,
so.
it was a great way to jump back into it and kind of like really gave you like the vibe of the show. But I agree that it probably would have been a really great send off to season 1, especially if they hadn't had a chance to be renewed or something else had happened. Like it would have been a really great end cap.
Because you could have said, yeah, they're going for it. But as it were, they were, the top show on a fledgling network that had a lot of other shitty shows. So they were going to get canceled. This was far too many years before, Star Trek gets canceled. All right, well, let's move along. Episode 2 of the season is yours. Take it away.
All right, we had Initiations that was aired on September 4th, 1995. Chakotay encounters a Kazon youth who is on an initiate rite to earn his name by killing the enemy or be killed in the attempt. And it was directed by Winrich Colby and written by Kenneth Billard.
There you go. And this would have, by the date, had been the season premiere. Because it's 49005, which would have been 5 days into that year. So it would have been like, it's a January story. But as a season premiere, it would have been like, okay, it's an episode.
Right. Well, I have such conflicting feelings about Chakotay because I love the idea of his character.
Mm-hmm.
And so much of his character, though, is written off as tropes of Indigenous American culture.
Correct.
Because the person that they had as, their consultant was an absolute hack.
Yeah,
so they made a mild attempt to have some rights, but I feel like even there wasn't anyone who questioned him and this feels kind of tropey. Are you sure?
Right. Well, yeah. Back in the 90s, you would think, we're getting more enlightened and things are, it was not getting more enlightened. Thank God, over time, that really diminishes, and he just becomes a regular dude and a regular character who's written like or not like, even early on. And I remember years ago when my ex-wife and I were watching this, she thought it particularly hilarious how in the first season, B'Elanna would overpronounce his name, Chakotay. Mm-hmm. And nobody else would do it, but it's like, you're right. It was tropalicious. That would almost be a great other name for the episode. But we're sticking with Lore in a Drawer because
Lore in Drawers is great. Yes.
Lore, we got it. But the guest star in this was Eric Eisenberg, who is Nog on Deep Space Nine. Great role. I liked it. But yes, the trope part of it is annoying. You get a lot more development of the Kazon, who is our season 1 and 2 enemy. They're kind of like a Walmart version of the Klingons, with their duty and honor and blah. But I don't understand how a replicator works. It's amazing. They have faster than light travel, which means they have artificial gravity and air recycling and stuff, but they can't figure out transporters and food replicators are like, ooh, it's amazing.
How are you getting this far out into space? And how are you doing all of this stuff?
Well, where are they getting food and supplies and blah, 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 and this and that. So,
the Kazons, I'm always just like, okay, sure. I get it, I guess. But it feels very much like a recycled villain where I find the episodes that are much more engaging, or the ones like the 37s, where it's not going up against the Kazons, it's going up against kind of the self and trials of the crew. Because I'm like, you already have this whole huge thing going on.
Right.
Where, they're out in a completely unexplored level of space. You don't need to throw in some random, barbarian light culture of
barbarian light. Did you say barbarian light? Like Bud Light? They're the Bud Light villains. I like it.
They are, but it's also again, it's just a lot of cliches and tropes of, we must kill you for honor. And I'm like, but have you guys been doing that since the Klingons?
Right.
And then also Chakotay talking about you need to respect my culture because I'm not going to kill you. And then not trying to understand his culture really as far as he's like, well, why would I kill you? And I'm like, because that's how their culture works.
Right.
It might not be your culture, but that's still his culture. Whether or not you agree with it, is,
Right.
this is
True.
what they do.
True. So yeah, I liked it, but you're right. It was I liked it, but it was overloaded with the troposphere, as it were,
Yeah.
with just
And I did I would much rather watch this episode than a lot of them in like TNG season 2.
oh my god, oh jeez,
But I still enjoyed watching it, and especially like,
Right.
the bond that Chakotay had with the Kazon youth, like at the end of it. I don't remember what they gave him his name, but I thought that
it was Carr, and then he was Cardane, which is like Cardin, which I thought, hey, that's great, that's mine.
Yeah,
He's my guy.
The bond that he got with Cardane at the end, and the way that they kind of met in the middle as far as respecting each other's individuality was really, really good.
Exactly correct. Well, cool. All right, moving on. Episode 3 is Projections, another holdover from season 1, directed by Jonathan Frakes. Woo! This where I was listening to a podcast recently that was breaking this down, and I think this was maybe one of the last episodes that he did until, and they took a huge gulf and they didn't return until Discovery. So it was that long between him directing anything for Star Trek. Written by Brandon Braga. We got this in September 11th of 1995. The Doctor becomes delusional after an accident causing him to believe that he is a flesh and blood person, and his time on the Voyager is a holodeck program. This episode also features Reginald Barclay. There we go. Which is, Barclay is obviously he's a holdover from TNG. He's the bumbling engineer who has holodeck, related issues. So yeah, this was 100% case of not really buying it. From the beginning, it was, and again, it was a Kazon episode. The Kazon attacked and the crew had to escape, but then B'Elanna it's all taking place in sickbay because at this point, obviously, that's the only place the Doctor can be. But then, as it evolves, you see his mind starting to break down. And so he can't figure, he starts to think, Barclay shows up and he starts to think, or the Barclay hologram is trying to convince him that he's real and the Voyager simulation is all what's fake, and he has to blow up the holographic ship in order to restore himself. And it's funny. It's all really summed up at the end where the Doctor, after everything is wrapped up and everything's back to normal, he's sitting, in his little office in sickbay and he's talking to Kes, who's his nurse, and he says, well, why would the holotech give me such an esoteric dilemma? Am I program or am I?
I'm sure I understand.
Oh geez, listen to that. Oh my God, it did. It made my watch go off. Oh shit. So he reflects back on how kind of dumb the plot is in the conclusion of the episode, which is kind of great.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
I did I felt like there could have been some good ideas here because it's, the Doctor is very much like the evolution of the Data quandary.
Yeah.
What is life? How can we understand sentience? And I remember the first time I watched this episode, I was like, oh, this is going to be really interesting. Like, what is going on? And it just never really took off.
Right.
It felt like it never really just got its feet underneath it. And I think part of it is because they just kept throwing a lot of scientific jargon of like, oh, no, it's this radiation thing. Oh, no, it's the neurological thing. Oh, yeah, actually, it's this. And it just was like a lot of like weird repetition stuff where I think I would have liked it if they could have come up with a different reason besides just he sorted out.
Yeah, space anomaly. That's what, and again, if you talk to Todd about this show, it was funny, it was right around this time. It was Halloween of that year, and I have a bunch of pictures I'll have to share. Maybe I'll post them on our Secret Friends group, just think about Halloween and stuff. But myself and then our friends Steve and Susie Borowski, well, they weren't married at the time, but they're married now. We did She Looks Very Much like Kate Mulgrew. She had an aunt who made us those Voyager jumpsuits, which was super cool. It was my first legit Star Trek cosplay was that one. And she did the Chakotay tattoo on my head. I may have showed you the pictures before, but Todd decided to join the fray by getting a piece of cardboard and writing Space Anomaly on it and hanging it around his neck. That is
fantastic.
Yes, exactly. So I have pictures. I have pictures, and I will super duper share them because this episode drops tomorrow as we're recording. I will share them on Twitter to hit them up. So, but yeah, that was pretty amazing. But yeah, this was it was an anomaly of the week kind of situation. So yeah, it didn't really do anything super unique. But anyway, all right, episode 4 is Elogium, another season 1 holdover, 48921. Winrich Colby was the director, Heritage Star Trek contributor. Story by Jimmy Diggs and Stephen J. Cate. Don't know the names, but the teleplay by Ken Biller and Jerry Taylor from September of 95. Space dwelling life forms cause Kes to enter the Ocampa fertile phase called the Elogium. putting pressure on her relationship with Neelix and when she wants to have his child. Katie, go ahead. I don't want to start.
The first, like, up until this episode, I think I was like, I'm like, maybe I was giving Neelix he's annoying, but not too bad. And then I remembered why I hated him with such vitriol because he is such an abusive boyfriend. He's such an abusive partner.
Totally.
He gaslights her the entire time. And he's he's so jealous. And I'm like, why?
I know.
Why did they think this was an attractive attribute to give to
Oh my God.
Just
I
so
know.
horrible. So,
I know. Oh my God.
It drives me. I just I throw him out of space, like, please. Especially because Cass is by far one of my favorite characters in Voyager.
Yeah.
Like she feels like she is the like IRL version of Tendi. She's just very lighthearted. She's very positive. She wants to learn.
And she has the best arc of any character, which then they kind of boot her off the show when Seven comes along. They're like, oh, TNA, and like bye. Boop. They kind of football her out of there. But in those 4 seasons, she has a great character arc because when we meet her, she's a slave, she's a runaway, she gets rescued, and then she becomes, and even in one of the future episodes where it's an alternate reality in the future, she becomes a doctor on Voyager. So she's super capable and smart. And then there's Neelix,
who is constantly holding her back, telling her that she doesn't know what she's doing, telling her that she's maybe she just doesn't understand. And I'm like, okay, this is a girl who, this is a young woman who is 2.
You're right.
Has now gone through being a runaway, being enslaved, and now is on a ship of technology that she does not understand and is still working to become a nurse and a technician. And
crushing it. She's crushing it more than anybody else.
What I really, really love is that they allow her to keep her innocence and positivity while also being incredibly intelligent and capable.
Right.
So, like anything with Kes, I'm just like, yes, she's my Data of TNG.
All Kes.
Of boy.
Whatever the hell show we're watching. Yes. But this episode, again, it really highlights, and then Neelix is like, well, I don't know if I'm ready. And then Tuvok has to give him a talking to. I don't think it's this. It's in a later episode that Chakotay has to give him a talking to. I think it's in the episode Twisted that we're going to talk about in a minute. It's just, there's nothing redeeming about Neelix. He's a big fucking dick. He's just, maybe, hopefully, not, probably literally, that's why he could, get a good looking girl like that.
No, it's not worth it. I can guarantee you. I think that part of the problem is that she just basically has Stockholm syndrome and doesn't know any better. Where she's like, she's in an abusive relationship and she thinks that these types of things are like attractive.
Right.
Where she's like, no, he just cares about me. The whole
exactly.
No, I trust you. I just don't trust him. I'm like, no, that's a bullshit response. It's a bullshit response.
Listen to Katie, everybody. Listen. If you're listening to this and that's your life, listen to Katie.
Listen to me.
The beauty of it is in season 3.
I had my 12-year anniversary yesterday of being married. So yes.
Awesome. Very good. But the good news is in season 3, she does dump his ass. So you got that to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Yes. Awesome. But other than that, this episode doesn't really thrill me. So, all right, moving on. Episode 5 is you, Katie. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Non Sequitur, which aired in September 25th of 95. It was written or directed by David Livingston and written by Brandon Braga again. We had Harry Kim wakes up in a 24th century San Francisco with no record of him on the Void. This is just another set of, I felt like I got 2 holodeck episodes in one sitting, which was very strange.
Right.
I enjoy Harry Kim. I wish he wasn't as attached to Tom Paris.
Yeah, right. Well, there's your Stockholm syndrome right there. Look at that shit.
Exactly, because he takes him under his wing and stuff. And I think Kim is an amazing, technician. He's an amazing engineer. In fact, there was that point in Twisted. We'll talk in the next one where Janeway actually stops him as they're crawling through these tubes and these Jeffrey tubes. And she's like, "I want you to know I'm really proud of you. You really exceeded all of that." And I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
I know.
He's an ensign, and he's taking on a lot of the responsibilities of a chief engineer, and he's just he's showing up.
Right.
And, honestly, I can't say that I would have done the same thing as him if these aliens were like, hey, we're really sorry you went through this time space and we just tried to figure shit out.
Right.
So, got stuck here.
Here you are, but
oh, okay, so that's what happened. That's cool, I guess.
Right.
I'll just live on with this one then. 'Cause that's,
Yeah,
you know,
right. Because they
shit
dump him.
happens.
They dump him back in his life with his fiance, who actress Jennifer Gotti, who the two roles I'm familiar she was with is she played the Runaway in Bon Jovi's Runaway video in the early '80s. So random. And then she was there was a 2-part episode of TNG in season 6 where Worf finds a camp of hidden Klingons that were rescued from Khitomer, which is where his dad died, and she is the hybrid daughter of the camp prefect, who's Romulan, and one of the former prisoners, who's a Klingon. And Worf falls in love with her, is going to kiss her, and he brushes her hair and sees she has pointed ear, and he's like, ew.
Yeah, no.
I know, it's proving that, we'll get to talk about season 6 of TNG way down the road. But I know, he's racist AF. So yeah, I'm with you. And Harry's like, I got to get back. And then you're right, he gets hooked up with Tom Paris in this alternate future. And Tom Paris is exactly what you would expect. He's kind of a scumbag. He's playing pool, being drunk. He's got a scruffy beard. And he's like, I want to fuck up this perfect life so I can get back to being stranded on the other side of the galaxy on a ship where I will never get a fucking promotion. So You're right. Yeah, for the sake of the show, you understand why I did it in real life.
Right.
Fuck that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, and also he had just created like a whole new prototype ship that had greatly advanced warp technology, and I'm like, why?
He was a fucking rock star. Yeah.
Why are you leaving?
Exactly. So dumb. But yeah, he did it because maybe he's not as smart as you thought.
Maybe not.
Oh my God. So anyway, moving on. Episode 6 is Twisted, which Katie just mentioned. This is a holdover from season 1, aired in October of '95. Kim Freeman was the director. The story was by Arnold Rudnick and Rich Hosek, definitely not regulars. Teleplay by Ken Biller. A region of space distorts the interior of Voyager. Boy, that was really descriptive. But that's basically all that's going on. We kick off with the gang hanging out in the holodeck pool hall, Sandrine's. Everybody ends up there for summer. I can't even remember why everybody ended up.
Birthday. They had a surprise party for
birthday, so that's why everybody was there. But it gives obviously Neelix a chance to continue to be an asshole to the point that Chakotay has to give him a talking to about being jealous because they're walking around, and after Neelix is like, oh, Tom Paris is really into her, which we'll deal with in the next episode. Yep. And then, we're walking around, and she knows where different dudes' quarters are because she's reading the door plate. And how do you know where all these dudes live? It's just, he's fucking dreadful. Oh my God.
Absolutely horrible. And she is so kind to him all the time and so generous. And even like the fact that, and I always thought like Tom was very nice to her, and like despite their weird relationship that goes on. I thought it was really sweet. Like he makes her this locket, and she's like, that's really cool. And then Neelix is like, well, I baked her a cake. He just replicated something. And I'm like, yeah, right. Really? Again,
dude.
Are we really going here? But also to say again, this is something where, yes, it's a very simple one-liner elevator pitch, but it ended up being a very, very complex story about what happened.
Exactly, because you see that what you just described between Janeway and Harry Kim, some moments between Chakotay and Tuvok, they're my two favorite characters in Voyager.
Oh yeah, they're great. Well, and even you had the dynamics between Chakotay, Tuvok, and B'Elanna.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You see, because B'Elanna is his protege. She looks up to him. We find out a few episodes down the road that she also has weird sex fantasies about him, but I'm glad that doesn't get revisited again. But you're right. You see a lot of very complicated over the course of, and again, this being at the very tail end of season 1, technically, just in the, 6 or 8 months that they've all been on the ship together, these relationships that have really burgeoned. So you're right, for an episode with a very Star Trek-y dumbass, like, oh, the ship's getting twisted, and some really wonky CGI when they all finally bend, and they're like, but you're right. It was a surprisingly, and maybe that's for the benefit of having non-staffers, or at least what I'm assuming is non-staffers wrote this, is that you're getting that really outside perspective, and you can tell that obviously with the teleplay, Ken Biller, who's a staffer, obviously tweaked things and added in the parts of it that really fit within kind of the whole parlance of the characters' interactions. But yeah, you're right. For such a like techno-babbly, what they call a bottle show, which is they don't build any new sets for it. They use existing sets. They don't really
it's a ship
go
in a
anywhere.
bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, so that ended up working out. So yeah, I would say of this pack, that's one of the better ones. I really do like it. So
Yeah.
oh, and it's all right. So you take us home. This is an episode that I had just listened to. I listened to one of the Roddenberry podcasts, and now I'm forgetting the name of it. I don't want to give them any press. I'm just kidding. I love their stuff. But they just what they do on this Mission Log is the name of it. They take an episode. They're right in season 2 right now. They're just ahead of us, where they take a full episode and break down a single episode, but they do a quick recap and then they discuss its relevance and how it holds up. And they talked about this one. I realized Jonathan Frakes directed this one too, but I realized that I hadn't seen this one. I think probably since April, and I watched all of the Star Treks probably 5 years ago. So, but anyway, this one is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Parturition. It was like you said, directed by Jonathan Frakes, written by Tom Solasi.
Don't know him. So yeah.
Sorry, Tom, if you're listening and I mispronounced your name, I apologize.
Sorry, Tom. All right.
And you can at me and give me the phonic pronunciation.
Please do.
Aired in October 9th of 95. And Neelix and Tom Paris fight over Kes. Apparently she can be fought over like an object. Anyway, but are sent on an away mission together to work out their boy troubles.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is wow. And I will note, this was the debut and then immediate retraction of Catherine Janeway's new hairstyle of chin length hair, which makes her, and it doesn't make a return until like season 5 or 6, because she goes back in the very next episode to the super hair. In season 3, in season 3, it finally turns into a ponytail. She has that for a long time. And then in season 4, she gets the chin length hair back. So it takes, but proof that in the 24th century, you can change your hair in 5 minutes, just, which is why is anybody bald? Why is Picard bald? Why doesn't he just?
Because they chose to be, apparently. Because they have moved past. I mean, unless you're talking to Riker or Neelix or Tom Paris or Chakotay or anybody, but supposedly they've moved past superficial beauty. I don't know.
Except for when the men need to do their hair pretty. That's what you're saying. Oh my God. So exactly. So anyway. You're right. This was troporific. Even more so than the Initiations episode with Chakotay and the Kazon Nog. Mm-hmm. This was bad. Yeah, you're right. They're fighting over her like she's an object. Like, like Neil, that's my property. And
how dare you talk to her? And he goes after her at one point because Tom, trying to be respectful of Neelix, not of Kes, says like, "Oh, I won't step in. I won't step in your lane. I didn't want to let's try and stay away from her."
Right, not going to sit next to her in the mess hall because then we might have a friendship because you're fragile, Talaxian male ego can't deal with it.
Yeah, Neelix's narcissism still kicks in and becomes paranoid, and he's like, "How dare you act like nothing has happened when you guys are sitting each other with your backs to each other?" And poor Kes is thinking that she did something wrong because he just stopped talking to her.
Right. Which is awful because true, she may be young, but regardless of the fact that she's young, she does nothing wrong by having a friend. Oh, he's male, and it must mean that And then Neelix is like, "Well, he's just walking. He's walking hard on." Blah, 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 blah. Basically, what he says about it.
The thing is, again, then that's Tom's problem, not Kes's problem, because Kes will put Tom in his place if she needs to, but Neelix doesn't trust her to do that. So, and I was kind of sad because overall, the idea of them finding and nurturing this creature, because they end up crash land on a planet and find this little lizard dude.
Right. Kind of looks like the baby from the show Dinosaurs, which is a sitcom in the 90s.
Yep. I was thinking that it looked like the lizard guys that were in that showed up in SNW again. But they're OG versions.
Oh, in Stranger Worlds. Oh, like the Gorn. Like the Gorn.
I thought it kind of looked like a Gorn baby.
Oh, boy. Oh, thank God it wasn't vicious like the Gorn was in Stranger Worlds. Oh, my God.
Yeah. But I really kind of liked that moment. And I think it would have been so much better served if those moments could have been between, Tuvok and Chakotay. Or, Tuvok and, anyone else, really.
Right.
Because that was just... They weren't stories that I needed to hear, and it
Right.
wasn't a story like the motivation for them being together was just so bad. And honestly, Janeway telling them to just get over it because they were going on this mission was phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely.
And I greatly enjoyed that part.
I can't even believe I can't even believe she didn't really, because if it was Cisco, like when Cisco had to deal with HR issues on DS9, he just ripped someone's asshole out. Like, remember anytime Klingon shit came up with Worf and Dax, he's like, well, in case you haven't noticed, this isn't a Klingon station and you are not wearing Klingon uniforms. Fuck you, and fuck you. Knock it off. Get out of my office.
Right, exactly.
I think she could have been meaner. That was the only thing that I would say. She could have been a little bit less like, well, just work it out. I think she should have really kicked some ass. But she'll get her chance because she always does, because she's awesome. So, all right, cool. Quick wrap up of these 7 episodes. Give me a favorite and a hate writ. Hate writ? Is that an episode of a favorite?
Partition would probably be the one I love to hate.
Yes.
And then I think that probably Twisted would be my favorite.
I also agree about hating Partition, and I loved. Damn it! I have to agree with you. You're right. Twisted was great because they took something simple and they made it something great. So, oh my God, we're in complete alignment. Very good. I dig it. Well, cool. Well, friends, with that is the end of our program. We ran long today. I love it. We had so much to talk about in both segments of the show. But Katie, without further ado, please take us out of here.
Yes. For more information about Starfleet International, please visit Grant Petoskey on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Awesome. Katie, where do people find you out there on the socials?
You can find me on Twitter at QTGeek. That is Q_T Geek. And then on Instagram at Quintessential Geek.
Excellent. You can find me, of course, at the C3 at most socials. Just spell it out. April, my wife, and I also run the USS Grand Petoskey, of which Katie and Peter are both members. If you're in the Grand Rapids area, if you're in Michigan at large, if you're anywhere listening to me and want to be part of our club, we would love to have you. You can find us on the website of that same name and on socials pretty much at that same tag. I also try to fill up our Facebook community over at Secret Friends Unite with content for your entertainment. So with that, friends, I'm going to thank you again for joining us. I'm going to tell you that sharing is caring and to keep on trekking.
And remember, wherever you go boldly.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow at Secret Friends U on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.